If I, one fine day, discover that I have been lied to all the years of my life, and my mother and my father were being lied to, if I discover that, in fact, though I was bred and bought and sold like a mule, but I never really was a mule, if I discover that I was never really happy picking all that cotton and digging in all those mines to make other people rich, and if I discover that those songs the darkies sang and sing were not just the innocent expressions of a primitive people, but extremely subtle and difficult, dangerous and tragic expressions of what it felt like to be in chains, then by one's presence, simply, and by the attempt to walk from here to there, you've begun to frighten the white world. They have always known that you were not a mule. They have always known that no one wishes to be a slave. They have always known that the bales of cotton and the textile mills and entire metropolises built on black labor, that the black was not doing it out of love. He was doing it under the whip. The threat of the gun, and the even more desperate and subtle threat of the Bible. Now, then, one is watching, according to me, in the streets of Southeast Asia, what must be considered as a final act of the white Christian European industrial drama. Speaking as an American and reading the news and looking at the pictures, the streets of Saigon resemble nothing so much to me as the streets of Detroit. And in both cities, precisely the same war is being waged. That war may yet spread to engulf the globe. And let's speak plainly. We know, everybody knows, no matter what the professions of my unhappy country may be, that we are not bombing people out of existence in the name of freedom. If it were freedom we were concerned about, then long, long ago we would have done something about Johannesburg, South Africa. If we were concerned with freedom, boys and girls would not, as I stand here, be perishing in the streets of Harlem. We are concerned with power, nothing more than that. And most unluckily for the Western world, it has consolidated its power on the backs of people who are now going to die rather than be used any longer. In short, the economic arrangements of the Western world proved to be too expensive for most of the world. And the Western world will change these arrangements. All these arrangements will be changed for them. This is what is beneath all the rhetoric and all those rather shameful speeches coming from my president. This imposes on us, then, a very considerable burden. I, for example, do have, in principle at least, the choice of, how can I put it, becoming a good American. I can make a living. Yes, I could. I'm well enough known to be an ornament. In short, I could ally myself on the side of what I most seriously consider to be a criminal nation. But if I can't do that, then I have to examine all the reasons that I can't and find out in myself precisely the terms of my connection with other people. One has tried, I tried for a long time in my own person, in, in things I wrote and things I said. I don't mean that I was alone, but I'm using myself as an example. To convey to my countrymen, white and black, the nature of our danger and where we were going to go if we could not resolve the situation in our cities and in our streets, in our houses, if brother could not deal with brother, because on the American continent, they talk about the color problem, but the truth is that no white American is sure he's white. And every American Negro visibly is no longer an African. And we know what happened, and we know who had the whip. So it was not my grandmother who raped anybody. Well, if the day comes when you realize, and you don't want to realize it, that you cannot make yourself heard, that the people whom you are addressing a plea for them and for you, and the plea is a very simple one. It's saying, look at it. Forget all the mountains of nonsense that have been written and everything that's been said. Forget the Negro problem. Don't write any voting acts. We had that. It's called the 15th Amendment. We're in the Civil Rights Bill of 1964. What you have to look at is what is happening in this country. And what is really happening is that brother has murdered brother knowing it was his brother. White men have lynched Negroes knowing them to be their sons. White women have had Negroes burned knowing them to be their lovers. It is not a racial problem. It's a problem whether or not you're willing to look at your life and be responsible for it and then begin to change it. That great Western house I come from is one house, and I am one of the children of that house. Simply, I'm the most despised child of that house. And it is because the American people are unable to face the fact that, in fact, I am flesh of their flesh, bone of their bone, created by them. My blood, my father's blood is in that soil. They can't face that. And that is why the city of Detroit went up in flames. And that is why the city of Saigon was under martial law. I know that in 400 years in that house, they do not know who I am, and I cannot marry their daughters or go to their churches. I would have to be a much more stupid man than I am to believe they know anything at all about those people in the Asian jungles. According to me, they liberated me before they got around to Asia, and it was a liberation difficult to bear. Many didn't survive it.